Films have always captivated us with stories that challenge our wildest dreams. And it's impossible to look away when two beautiful people ignite the screen with their steamy chemistry. While some sexy scenes offer instant pleasure, there are those that linger in our minds for days, leaving us wanting more. This is Tammy Klutman, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 sexiest Korean movies, Part 3. As you may already know, Korean cinema has produced some of the sexiest movies to date. We've already listed the best of the best in our first two parts. If you missed them, be sure to check them out. Here in Part 3, we're bringing you even more of those movies. Even if you don't enjoy a movie as a whole, there's enough heat in all these movies to put you in the mood. We hope you'll enjoy the movies listed, and don't hesitate to let us know if you'd like to see a Part 4. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video again. Number 10. Club Butterfly. This film follows the story of a 30-something couple with a son in kindergarten who are feeling stuck in their ordinary lives. They are exhausted from their jobs, dull daily routines, and most importantly, they're tired of each other. Frustrated by their mutual inability to fulfill their sexual desires, the two are surprised when they both receive email invitations to join a partner-swapping group called Club Butterfly. Both initially find the idea distasteful, but they slowly change their minds as their loveless marriage wears on. And when they hear that their friends regained their sexual vitality through swapping, they start to become more open to the idea of exploring their forbidden desires. Number 9. Vanishing Twin. The film revolves around a woman who leads a satisfying life with her lawyer husband, beautiful daughter, and her job as a curator. One day, she hears that her twin sister will be coming to town from the US, which brings back memories of their childhood together. However, her brother-in-law returns home alone with the heartbreaking news of her sister's death. Soon after, her friend begins recounting a Native American myth in the exact same way that her sister used to tell it. She learns that her friend heard the story from a man identified only by his cyber ID, Art Lover. She sets out to find and meet this man, hoping he may have some information about the mysterious circumstances surrounding her sister's death. Along the way, she gains a deeper insight into herself and uncovers memories and emotions that she had seemingly repressed over the years. Number 8. An Affair. The story focuses on an ordinary housewife in her late 30s with a 10-year-old son and a successful architect husband. For her, life is a series of banal routines, but she is well provided with upper-class comforts. Her life changes forever when she meets her sister's fiancé to help the couple find a new apartment. Her sister is held up in America and is unable to get back. The fiancé is 11 years younger, tall, serious, and attractive. She begins to look forward to their journeys. He does more. He recognizes something that she has long forgotten, her beauty and sensuality. As time passes, they find themselves drawn to each other and eventually start having an affair. Number 7. Ardor. The film is about a young housewife who thinks her life is pure happiness with a loving husband and a beautiful daughter. However, her world is turned upside down one Christmas Eve when her husband's mistress attacks her in her own home. The event affects her more deeply on a psychological level than physically. 6 months later, with their marriage having survived the incident, the family moves to a small town in the countryside. The housewife is still struggling with the aftermath of the traumatic event and is taking tranquilizers. When her car runs out of gas one day, she's helped by a handsome local doctor. Although he is married and admits to being a womanizer, the two of them eventually have an affair. The housewife starts lying to her husband as she and her lover play a game in which they must not fall in love with each other. Coming up at number 6, Love Now. The film revolves around two contrasting couples who all meet at the opening of a bar owned by a mutual friend. The first couple consists of a highly ambitious fashion consultant and her less driven hotelier husband. The wife is not a fan of her husband's non-ambitious attitude. They dated for 4 years and have been married for 3 years. Despite this, they get along great, but rather too comfortable. Meanwhile, the other couple consists of an ambitious second-in-command CEO of a giant development firm and his lighting designer wife. Their passionless marriage is nothing more than a legal contract. Through their interaction, the CEO becomes a client of the fashion consultant, while the latter's husband agrees to help the CEO's wife book a hotel for her business trip to Hong Kong. As the two couples spend time with each other's spouses, new feelings of love and lust arise, putting their marriages to the test. Number 5. Hypnotized. This movie centers on a wannabe novelist who is suffering from borderline personality disorder and finds herself in a mental hospital after attempting suicide. Her psychiatrist learns that her disorder comes from fear of being abandoned, but he fails to give her any help. Then, a year later, he meets her again by chance and believes she still needs help. He forms a friendship with her and resumes her treatment, using hypnosis in an effort to resolve her deep-rooted problems. As the two spend more time together, she gradually gains strength from their relationship, while the psychiatrist's tightly controlled world starts to fall apart as he becomes sexually obsessed with her. Number 4. The Scent. While serving a 2-year suspension from the police force for an adulterous affair, a detective takes side jobs as a private investigator, and his specialty is adultery cases. His latest assignment comes from a beautiful woman who asks him to take photos of her husband in the midst of having an affair with another woman. They wait in a motel room, ready to confront the husband, who the detective has confirmed is with another woman next door. However, while they wait and drink beer, the woman suddenly starts kissing the detective, and the next thing he knows, he wakes up naked next to her dead body. He soon discovers that the husband is also dead, and it turns out that the supposed mistress is actually the real wife, with the same name as his client. The detective finds himself drawn into the case on both a personal and professional level, until his colleagues suspect him of being the murderer. Nearing the top of our list at number 3, Secrets, Objects. This film follows the story of a 40-year-old sociology professor who appears to be a happily married woman, but in reality, she has long separated from her husband. She is currently working on a research paper about extramarital affairs. One day, a 21-year-old male student applies to be her research assistant, and this causes ripples in her heart. As they spend more time visiting and interviewing women who have had extramarital affairs, her desire for him grows. The assistant, however, has some secrets of his own. Their forbidden love and secrets are watched and told by 2 secretive observers. They are her copy machine and his digital camera. Number 2. Love at the End of the World. This film revolves around a university professor who is desperately trying to get over the pain of her husband's death 3 years ago. Though she lives happily with her daughter, they are still haunted by the accident. One day, while stopping at a gas station, they meet a friendly man who is the manager there. The mother finds herself drawn to his gentle personality, which is in stark contrast to her late husband, and eventually marries him. The daughter, who also had feelings for the man, begins to feel lonely as her mother prioritizes work over their relationship. Meanwhile, the stepfather and daughter bond over that shared loneliness, ultimately leading to a forbidden love affair. And coming in at number 1, Serve the People. Set in the 1970s in a fictional socialist country, the film follows the story of a model soldier who gets assigned to work as a cook at the division commander's house. He dreams of success for his wife and child and sees this opportunity as a stepping stone. Working in the division commander's home, he is soon introduced to the commander's pretty young wife. Frequently crossing paths with her, he finds himself an unexpected object of her desires. Left to idle at home while her husband is away on business, she establishes a rule for the cook that whenever the household's wooden "Serve the People" sign is removed from its usual place on the dinner table and placed elsewhere, he is to stop what he is doing and attend to her very specific, very personal needs upstairs. Unable to leave a post he worked so hard to acquire, he has no choice but to obey.